So today I thought it would be fun to play around with some neon colors and use up some of my random embeds. So for this little project, we're using Mad Micas Cheesy Poof, Tickled Pink, and Grape Ape. We're going to use these in a cavity mold, and we're going to use these embeds over here. These little cactuses, some random raspberries, and then just some leftover balls from soap batter that was left over. And we're going to try and make a little desert sunset. So, just like all my other soap experiments, I have no clue if this is going to work. We'll do orange and purple. We're going to pour it down the sides. Try to keep them even. And then I'd like to have pink in the middle. I don't know if this is going to work though. But we're going to try it. Oh, well, it'll be kind of a tie-dye effect, but that's okay. That'd be really cool. That might even be better than the stripes I was planning. Okay, so we have that. Now I'm going to set my colors aside because I don't want to overflow this mold. Now, usually with the sunset, it's lighter towards the horizon, so we're going to pour it in with orange. Oh, yeah, these are going to just be totally tie-dye. Well, now you know how to make a neon tie-dye scene. Oh, that still looks kind of like a desert sky. Let's see what happens if I just pour in one spot. Oh, I think that gives us the color I'm looking for. Okay, so don't wiggle it around, just pour it straight. Oh, I like that. That's beautiful. Yeah, this is way better than what I had planned. I was going to go for nice clean lines. This instead is beautiful. It looks like the sunset colors fading into each other. It's one of the reasons I like my way of making soap, which is totally unplanned. It's always a new adventure, and that's just because sometimes you get really happy surprises that are way better than anything you could have thought of yourself. Okay, I'm going to add the rest of these colors into my pour container. Give me just a second. We'll be right back to pour the rest. I'm back. Oh, I might have a little too much pink on this one. That's okay. Oh, these colors are so fun. I love the neons from Mad Micas. They're just so vibrant. Okay, now I'll just kind of take a look at them and see which ones need a little extra. Oops. See, I'm wiggling my thing because I just can't hold still. All right, let's get these full. I might be filling these up too much since we're putting embeds in them. I don't want to overflow my mold, so I'm just going to stop there before I cause any other big issues. Kind of clean this up a little bit. Okay, now we're going to put our embeds in, but we're going to put a little cactus. And then I just thought it would be fun to have some raspberries that kind of look like, I don't know, almost like sagebrush. They were supposed to be raspberry embeds. The colors are not that great on them. So we'll put those on. That'll make our little landscape scene. And then this will be our desert sun. I think the desert is so beautiful. I love how, you know, when you first see the desert, you kind of think, oh, nothing can live here. It's so desolate. It's so dry. But if you hold still in the desert, you get to see all sorts of amazing wildlife. Okay, so this is the problem with filling it too full, and I'm afraid I'm going to have this problem on a lot of them, is that it's just puffing up around them. So I should not have filled them this full. This one here, let's watch this one. This one is probably the least full out of all of them, and I'm guessing it's going to look probably the best. Oops. Okay, let's get those in there. Yeah, see, look, that looks perfect. So if you want to try this, just Make sure that you don't overfill it. Oh, that's beautiful. So I'm going to be careful not to push the embeds in too far, and hopefully it won't be too bad with the others. I figured out something to help it from not being so puffy, and that's to put the embeds in like one at a time. So I put all the suns in and then jostle the molds, and it kind of flattens them out again, and then add another embed and then jostle them around. It'll flatten it back out so that you don't get that buildup of poofiness. So once I get all the cacti in, like this, then I'm just gonna gently jostle them again, kind of flatten out the surface of that soap. This one's just way overfull though. And then go back in and add more of the little raspberries, and it's not as distorted when you do it that way. There we go. I think that kind of saved it so we didn't have a ton of weird looking ones. That is our funky desert sunset. I think they look super cute. Our beautiful sunset soaps are done setting, so we're just going to unmold them. And of course they overflowed a little bit, so we'll trim off those edges as well. They're practically trimming themselves. Now, one thing that's hard when you're working with neons, I don't know if you can see, it's hard to get them fully mixed in and not have any little chunks of neon. You'll kind of see the darker specks in there. Now those specks, as the soap gets used, they will streak color onto the skin and onto wash rags. They should rinse and wash right off. I mean, you're using them as you're washing, so they shouldn't be a big deal, but that's something to watch out for when using neons, because they're a little harder to incorporate. Even mixing them in with oil, you'll see bright little specks of orange and purple. I think they're kind of fun. I don't mind colored suds, but some people do, so just keep that in mind. Now, this is the funny thing about making soaps with embeds. All these balls were made from the scraps of trimming my soaps. And here we have scraps from trimming soaps. So once we're done trimming these all up, we will have another little ball to add to our, once again, starting collection of soap trimming. But now I just go along and I kind of trim up any of the overage, make sure that the side of my soap is nice and flat and straight. And clean up any edges where they might break or get raw. Sometimes the overage doesn't spill to the side, sometimes it spills up. I don't know if you can see that, there's like a little lip right there. So I also will run around and just trim that off, because once the soap hardens, those little things will become quite sharp the first time you use them, and they're kind of unpleasant against the skin, so I like to trim those off. So I'm going to go around and trim these all up. I'll show you the next little planet we make, and then I'm going to show you how to shine the tops. We have all of our desert soaps trimmed and square. These are the two little bright neon planets I made from their cuttings. So I'll set those in my embed bowl. Now to shine the tops, I used to steam my soaps with an iron, but I recently heard of a much easier trick. So I have distilled water in a spray bottle. I'm going to lightly mist them. And this of course wets the soap. And then I have a little spray bottle, I might have oversprayed these, but I have a little spray bottle of rubbing alcohol. For anyone worrying about me using rubbing alcohol during this pandemic, I have been using the same small bottle of rubbing alcohol for the past year and a half. I rarely ever use it. When I do use it, I use it in this little sprayer, so it uses just the bare minimum. So I haven't bought any rubbing alcohol for soap since the pandemic. But then I spray it on top of the water with the rubbing alcohol, and I don't know why, but this magical mixture of water topped with alcohol, and then I'm just gonna let that sit and dry, and when it dries, it should have kind of a shiny, wet look to it.